Prop Nation? It's your boy John here today. We're back with another edition of the Footy. It is the quarterfinals. We're here, or as I heard on the radio the other day, the qualifying finals. I don't know about that. I feel like they have already qualified for the finals. The quarterfinals are here. We're going to be going over a two-part for this one. This is going to be huge. We're going to be doing Port Adelaide Geelong tonight, and then we're also going to be doing the Bulldogs and the Hawks. And then the next episode, you ought to catch that. We're going to be doing the Lions and the Blues, and then the Swans and the Giants in Sydney. Should be 4 absolutely awesome games, which I'm excited for. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit the like button. It's about here. It's very easy to do. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps us out as well. And if you could subscribe, that'd be awesome too. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, where we can do all our promos and clips and things like that, and leave a review on Apple and Spotify as well. And as you would have seen, this is the down period at the moment, but the week is ramping up. NFL is back. The season kickoff between the Ravens and the Chiefs is on Thursday Night Football. I'm very, very excited. The season's back. We made it. Prop Nation is back in full swing, and Sully and I will have that episode to you shortly. You'll get that through the week. You'll also get part 2 of this through the week as well in the other games that are coming. So, with that said, never bet more than you can afford to lose. And of course, help is out there if you need. But until then, this is just for entertainment purposes. Let's get into the footy. All right, we'll start with the Thursday night football game. This one's going to be in Adelaide. This should be a hotly contested game. Port are really, really in form. They're 12.5-point favourites over the Geelong Cats. Over-under sitting at 164.5. Port have covered 7 of their last 9 spreads. So that's pretty interesting to take a look at. Also, 4 of their last 5 games have all gone under. So we'll see what the Cats can produce, because they're generally a low-scoring team. Although more recently, Cats 4 of the last 5 games have gone over. So we'll have to see how this one pans out. Port Adelaide as well, they're 8-2 over the last 10 games. So they are pretty in form. They haven't lost in quite a bit of time. Geelong is 7-3 as well. They had a bad loss to the Saints not too long ago. So we'll have to see how this one transpires. I'm a little bit concerned about the Cats on the road, although this time now we've got Patrick Dangerfield back. I want to see how that impacts the game, because last time these two teams played, Port Adelaide came to Geelong and they wiped the floor with us. So don't really want to see that. So as far as injuries and outs for Port Adelaide go, Dan Houston, well, he's still suspended. He's going to be out for the rest of the season, assuming they don't make the grand final. Kane Farrell as well. He was stepping up in Dan Houston's place in that halfback role. He's now out of action as well. He did his hamstring last weekend. And so that bodes well for a couple of guys who we think might step up in their place, particularly Jackson Mead. We're going to be taking a bit of a close look at tonight. We'll see how that one goes. Injuries for the Cats. Oh, sorry, before I get to that. Todd Marshall could be back if he can make the team. He's been really out of form this year. So he was injured. He might have even been delisted at one point, so we'll see. And then Mitch Georgiades, he's back in fine form. He played against Freo, and of course he is at least going to kick 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, maybe even 7 goals, as he would hang over the Cats, I expect. Injuries for the Cats. Sam De Koning could be back in this one. He's expected to play, so check for the game time decisions. Hawkins, we're not sure yet. Check for game time decision as well, because if anything, Cats are going to get a second chance, even if we lose this one, so they might rest him again even still. A couple of things to consider as well for this game. So Willie Rioli has been absolutely crucial for Port Adelaide. I'm going to be interested to see how Geelong can stop them in front of goals. He's really delivered in final quarters, particularly kicking 2 goals last week to seal the win against Freo. I think I saw a stat as well on First Crack that the Port Adelaide is something like 8-2 when he's in the lineup, and there's something like 2-4 when he's out of the lineup. So that should be interesting. Jason Horne-Francis, huge impact player as well. He was kicking 2 goals as well, crucial moments last week. And Logan Evans had a breakout performance last week. 23 disposals, 10 rebounds inside 50. So stepping up in Dan Houston's absence as well. So we'll see between Jackson Mead, Logan Evans, which way we're going to break this down. A couple of interesting things for the Cats. Jeremy Cameron, can he be stopped? He kicked 9 goals last weekend against the Eagles. He's usually good for at least 2. And I think we've actually got some pretty good value tonight on Jeremy Cameron to kick 2 as well. So that's going to be awesome to see. Tom Stewart and Lawson Humphries were subbed out of last week's game. But I think that's just because the game was getting out of hand, so I'm not too concerned there. And Ollie Henry kicked his career best 4 goals last week as well. So we'll see how that bodes as well for us. Let's start with Port Adelaide, though. All right, disposals for Port. Well, model loves in this one. Zach Butters, he's absolutely on fire at the moment. You can actually still get some pretty good value on him as well. 25 disposals is $1.31. He had 28 last week, 42 the week before that in the showdown, and then 30 and 30 before that as well. So the fact that you don't actually have to bet that up to 30 if you don't want to, that actually looks pretty nice. We also really like Ollie Wines as well. Ollie Wines for, I think, 25 plus touches. Looks like that's coming through pretty well as well. He's going to sit around $1.65. So that's excellent value on him as well. If you want something that's not so spicy, you could take a look at Travis Boak. He had 18 disposals last week, but for 20 plus touches, he might be in a bounce back spot. He can usually get that. And someone that we like looking at as well is Chase Burgoyne. Had 20 disposals last week, 22 the week before that. He has really come alive. He's had some really, really good games, and he's been fairly consistent. He's had 4 of the last 5 have gone over 20 plus touches, and he's $1.95 for 20 disposals. So that's pretty good value as well. I'm interested to see how they're going to play this one. It's almost better odds than what Travis Boak is. The other ones that you could take a look at as well, if you like the look of Jason Horne-Francis, you might have to bet him up to 25 disposals. He's $1.37 for 20. For 25, he's $2.50. Okay, that's quite different. So even if you wanted just the 20 plus touches, that also looks like a surefire thing. So there's value all over the place for this Port Adelaide team. In fact, I might even have to retract that. The fact that you can get Jason Horne-Francis for 20 plus touches, which he's pretty much smashed every single week for the last 5 weeks, definitely. Had a couple of down games before, but more often than not, Port Adelaide are a surefire thing to get a high level of disposals that we need. And then there's Logan Evans, had the 23 disposals last week. He is interesting to look at because he's not always a surefire thing. He did have 8 touches in round 23, so just be aware of that one. But if you go back as far as round 19, round 20, he was back up in that 20 plus disposals mark that you needed. So you can get him for 15 plus touches at $1.25. It's not great value, I got to say, because if you want to bet him up to 20 disposals, then you would be getting a ton of value on him. Then you'd be getting him at about $2.10. So I think there's actually quite a lot of value to be had around here. I'd rather bet Logan Evans over someone like Ryan Burton, who was nearly there. Willem Drew, I'm pretty much off at this point. We haven't seen him come through for a while. Miles Bergman has just been not making as much impact as we wanted. Touched on Jackson Mead. He had 18 disposals last week. I was hoping to see a little bit more of him. We might even see a little bit more of him this week, but we'll see what happens there. If we move now to anytime goal scorers for Port Adelaide, hard to find too much value in this one. If anything, I'd be looking at Mitch Georgiades for 2 plus goals. You can get that at $1.55. He's not popping off in the model, I got to say, as much as someone like Jason Horne-Francis is for 1, but there is a lot less value on Jason Horne-Francis for 1. You can get Jason Horne-Francis at $1.33 to kick 1 goal. You can even get Zach Butters at a long shot, $1.95 to kick a goal, which he has been doing in the amount of times he's been getting disposals over the last couple of weeks as well. So that's could be worth looking at as well. Willie Rioli, you could get him for 2 plus goals as well. Might be worth looking that way. But Jason Horne-Francis, he's had at least 1 goal in all of the last at least 5 games. Same with Darcy Byrne-Jones. We were on both of those guys last week, and they both came through for us. In fact, Darcy Byrne-Jones is $1.60 for a goal. So that could be one way to look as well if you have to. But I might actually look at the Cats side for actually scoring, even though we do expect this to be a bit of a lower scoring affair, which we'll get to now. So we're going to start with a nice easy one for the Cats here. I want to talk about, and I haven't talked about him much this season, but Zach Guthrie has started to be playing pretty well. He was pretty involved last week against West Coast, but also for the Cats. Tell me who wasn't. There was about 10 players who went over the 20-plus touches mark, which is rare. That doesn't often happen, and I wouldn't bet on it all the time. But he did have 20 disposals against Freo in round 22 as well, and he had 15 disposals last week. In round 23. So the reason I bring him up is because you can get him for 15-plus touches at $1.30, and he has been Pretty good for that. You can also get Lawson Humphreys for 15 plus touches as well at $1.37. I like both of those ones because Lawson Humphreys has pretty much gone over that most weeks since he's come into the league. He had 8 disposals last week, but that's because he was rested. I'm pretty sure he was clearly rested. He might have had a slight pull in his hamstring or something like that, but they did see him with the ice pack on at one point, but I'm pretty sure it was just to save him for finals. Similarly with Sean Manor. Each of the last 4 weeks, he's had at least 15 disposals. He had 21 last week and 21 the week before that. You can get him for $1.45. So really love that value on Sean Manor as well. He's coming up second. The third in the model is, well, it has to be Max Holmes at 20 disposals for Max Holmes. He is not as much value as $1.20. You could bet him up to 25 for $1.85, but I don't love that as much as I love a couple of these 15 plus touches, guys. Hopefully Port Adelaide is not too much all over us. Another one that I'd probably look at for 20 disposals, or even 15 if you wanted it, is Tanner Bruin. Tanner Bruin, who's been playing through the midfield. He is pretty good value as well. You can get him for $1.20 for 15. If you wanted to bet him up to 20 plus touches, he's going to come through at $1.95 there as well. And it's probably because of the 4 plus touch game that he had before he got injured a few weeks ago. So could be value to be had there. The Geelong midfield, I'm not sure how it's going to go. They're one of the worst midfielders crew in the league when it comes to clearances. So we're going to have Max Holmes, Patrick Dangerfield, Tanner Bruin. There'll probably even be a bit of Tom Atkins coming through as well, and Jack Bowes if we can get him. And Jack Bowes has been good the last 2 weeks. He had 31 disposals in round 23, 24 disposals as well before that. So a bit of value to be had there on him. If you want to get Jack Bowes for 20 plus disposals, model does actually favour that as well, just a little bit less than Tanner Bruin. So 20 plus touches for 20 disposals for Jack Bowes is $1.40. Don't mind that. All right, we've had a bit of increase in value in anytime goal scorers for the Cats with Jeremy Cameron for 2 goals. He's gone from $1.45 up to $1.65. So a bit of a different matchup for him. I know the West Coast, he kicked 9 goals last week. Don't think that that's going to repeat, unfortunately. But for 2 goals, which he's done in pretty much every single game except for round 22, you can get that at $1.65, and we love that one the most, it's got to be said. The other one that we're liking as well, which has come up in a bit of value, is Tyson Stengel for anytime goal scorer. So you don't actually need him for 2 goals anymore, even though he has done that more often than not over the last couple of weeks. Last 2 weeks, he's kicked at least 2 goals. He kicked 0 the week before that, and then 1 the week before that, and then 3 before that. So for $1.25 just to kick the 1 goal, it's kind of like a nice little thing to put over the ticket that you're sort of building together if you are building a parlay together. He has gone for 42 goals from 73 shots a goal and 141 score involvements on the season. So really like to see that. He stepped up in a big way. Good value. And then the favourite is somewhere between Brian Myers and Patrick Dangerfield, a bit more of a long shot. Paddy to kick a goal. He's had 7 goals from 18 shots a goal on the season, and I don't think he's had too much of recent to really call out, but he is $2.10 for anytime goal scorer. So that is, he's had a goal in 4 of the last 5 games, at least 1. Brian Myers has had a goal last week, of course, who didn't? And he's $2 to score. Ollie Dempsey you could look at as well at $1.85, but that's sort of the way I want to play it is really on Jeremy Cameron, Tyson Stengel in this game returning to Adelaide. So let's play it that way. We're going to go Jeremy Cameron, 2+ goals. We really like that. I'm trying to think if I want to put Mitch Georgiades for 2+ goals in it as well. We probably could. The other ones I want to look at is Zach Butters for 25 disposals at $1.30. We like that. On the Geelong side of the ball, there's a couple of players that we like in value here. We like Tanner Bruin, 15+ touches for sure. We like Zach Guthrie. On the Geelong side of the ball, we like Zach Guthrie for 15+ disposals and Lawson Humphreys for 15 as well. I think I want to favour Zach Guthrie just because I prefer the experience when it comes to finals. I don't think that the moment's too big for Lawson Humphreys, and that's not what I'm saying at all, but I kind of want to trust the guys who have done it before to repeat in case there's any sort of like weird Chris Scott thing where he gets pulled or something like that. All right, we'll take a look now at the Friday night game at the MCG. This one's going to be an absolute cracker. This is the first elimination final Western Bulldogs taking on the Hawthorn Hawks. Dogs are favourite, -3.5 points. The over-under is 168.5, so it's right on the money there. Dogs have covered the spread 6 of the last 7 games. That's pretty exciting to see, but if you think that's good, Hawks have covered the spread 14 of the last 16 games. That is an insane record. Dogs have, last 4 games have all gone over as well, and they've had a lot of spurts throughout the season of going over, playing in overs and playing in really high-scoring games as well. And we know that the Hawks are a really high-scoring team as well. 6 of their last 8 games have gone over as well. So I fully expect this to be a bit of a shootout. I actually wouldn't mind betting the over on the 168.5. Not that we normally recommend those sides and totals as opposed to the props. Let's get into the props. Well, let's also have a look at the records. So Dogs are 8-2 over the last 10. Had a pretty convincing win against the Giants, who were resting a couple of players last week. And Hawks are 11 wins and 2 losses over the last 13 games. So insane record there. Looks like for the Dogs, as far as injuries goes, Tim English will be back. I think he was back last week as well. Riley West, be interesting to see if he'll be back. He was sort of listed at about 1 to 2 weeks, and that was a couple of weeks ago. So, is he back from his jaw injury? We'll see, because Dogs would love to have him back. He is a key goal scorer for them. Injuries for the Hawks, they're not looking too bad outside of, obviously, Will Day injured his collarbone, so we're not expected to see him. Chunkuth Jaff was calf injury, so he could be back if he can make the team as well. And Ned Reeves is had a back injury, but he might be back as well. A couple of things that stand out for us for the Western Bulldogs. We'll see if Liam Jones, he was just got off with a fine the other week for his tackle against the Giants. So that's good to see. So he'll be playing. And then the impact of returning players that they've had. So Jack Macrae and Caleb Daniel, both all Australians at one point, returned to the side and had huge contributions, 23 disposals each for those guys in their win. And their win secured Bulldogs' 12th appearance in the finals under Luke Beveridge, setting them up for a possible deep run going into September. For the Hawks, I mean, they've just been on the most amazing run possible. Started the season 0-5 and have won 14 of their last 18 games. Absolutely insane. Dylan Moore been playing insane football. Had 4 goals last week or the week before in their win against North Melbourne. Nick Watson, Connor Macdonald, and Marbio Chol as well. Going to expect them to be really key contributors in this one. Jai Newcombe, 35 disposals against the Roos. Massimo D'Ambrosio, welcome to the All-Australian. My fucking God. 31 disposals. We've been on him all season long. Model loved him, and we got a lot of value out of him, which was great to see as well. So let's jump into this game. Let's start with the Bulldogs. And as far as disposals go, we're going to start with Bailey Dale, favourite of the model at 20-plus disposals is the way we want to play this to start. You don't have to worry about Adam Treloar or Marcus Bontempelli because you can get him at $1.20, and same with Tom Liberatore. The other one is Ed Richards, who's really been playing well. He's $1.35 for 20-plus disposals as well. If you want to bet those guys up to 25 disposals, which is doable for Bailey Dale, though I'm not sure I always completely recommend it, $1.85 for him. Libba is $1.85 as well, but he hasn't done that in any recent time, so I'm not sure that I want to actually look that way for him. Let's stick in the 20-plus disposals realm. If we take a look at Joel Frazier as well, we talked about him last week, and he came through for us. We needed 15 disposals out of him, and he came through with 16, so that was awesome to see as well. I actually kind of want to jump back on him because he's been low-key a very good... The fact that he hasn't got a Rising Star nomination is... It's daylight robbery. Let's call it what it is. No, it's not. It's fine. But $1.35 for 15-plus disposals in these like high shootout games, this should be really interesting. I'm very into this Joel Frazier 15-plus touches pick. After that, you've got to go up to Adam Treloar and Bontempelli for 25-plus disposals each. And then Ed Richards. I'm not sure I really want to play it that way. Let's go safety first with Bailey Dale. Could go with Libba as well, but Joel Frazier, that's the way I really want to play this one for the Dogs. 4 anytime goal scorers. So a bit of value to be had here with Marcus Bontempelli is the first way that we're going to play this. If you want him for anytime goal scorer, which you can get at pretty decent value, $1.40 for a score, which he does more often than not, more weeks than not. So I'm really into that one. And then for 2+ goals, we're going to jump on Jamara Ugle-Hagan for this one. He is $1.85 for 2+ goals, and we love that value. 43 goals from 103 shots at goal on the season, so we expect that to come back a little bit. So going to look that way. Sam Darcy for 2 goals. I'm not really into that, and he's only $1.20 to get 1. Which, look, could be the way it's played as well, but Hawks defense has not been bad. I'm going to be more looking at like Cody Waitman, Jamara Ugle-Hagan, and Bont for this one. If we can get Riley West back, this is low-key a value. If Riley West comes back, he's $1.50 for anytime goal scorer. And we also really like him as well, so be prepared to look that way if he's a game-time decision and he comes through to play. We'll take a look now at the Hawks, and there's a bit of value to be had here. We've been on Massimo D'Ambrosio pretty much all season long, and we're not going to jump off him just yet because you're getting some great value on him for 20+ disposals at $1.31. Model loves that the most, and we're pretty comfortable playing that. 31 disposals last week, 26 the week before that, and 31 in round 22. So we'll start with that one. And Jai Newcombe took a little while to come on and actually get some value. You could have bet him through the season, but you weren't getting much value for him for 20+ disposals. But now you are, so you can get him up to 25 if that's the way you want to play this for $1.75. And he had 35 disposals last week, 33 the week before that, 23 and 30. So there is a little bit of 50-50 to it, but I expect this to be a really high impact game for the midfield for the Hawks as well. The other way we're going to look for this one as well is Karl Amon at 20+ touches. He had a down game last week, 14 disposals. I'm guessing a few of the Hawks weren't really needed in that one, in that cruising win over North Melbourne. So 14 disposals last week, but the weeks before that, 26, 21, and 30. And I fully expect them to come alive in the finals here. So at $1.31 for 20+ touches, don't mind that at all. We're going to jump now to anytime goal scorers for the Hawks. Model loves, of course, it's still Nick Watson at $1.45. He had 3 goals last week. They were sharing it around. He hasn't kicked as many goals in recent times, though. He had 3 the week before that, but then 0 and 0. So at $1.45 to kick a goal in this one, I'm expecting a bit of ball movement through the inside 50s, and I think he can get it. I think he can smash it through as well. Cole Shadir is the other one that we're going to look at, because for anytime goal scorer for him, not as much value, $1.30, but he's been kicking a lot of goals. He's been a fantastic rising star for them as well. And then Gunston's been good, but he's only $1.20, and I want to stay off that. Same with Luke Breust. The guy that we really love is Jack Ginnivan. For $1.50 for anytime goal scorer, he's had 2 goals, then 0, then 2 goals, then 0, then 2 goals. So we wouldn't mind if that kind of equals out. Just need him to kick 1 at $1.50. That's pretty good value. So let's take a look at the ticket. Let's see how we want to play this. I'm going to go with Jack Ginnivan, 1 goal. Anytime goal scorer at $1.50. I think that's really good value. I'm going to go with Jamara Ugle-Hagan for 2 goals in this one, $1.85. That's crazy value. If you want to do something a little bit safer, Bont for 1 is $1.40. We'll play that. We'll play Massimo D'Ambrosio for 20+ touches at $1.30 as well. And Bailey Dale is the last one we'll play it. You can tack it on for $1.20 for 20+ disposals. I think we'll do that. That's a nice little ticket there. That's going to do it for part 1 of the footy quarterfinals. Very exciting games. Port and Geelong, Dogs and Hawks. Really excited to see how these ones go. I think this Friday night game between the Dogs and the Hawks is going to be absolutely electric atmosphere, I feel. Hopefully the weather can hold up for us. Thanks for watching. If you're still watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to this. That really helps us out. And don't forget to catch later in the week. We're going to give you the second part of the quarterfinals for the Swans and the Giants, as well as the Brisbane Lions versus the Blues. Expecting a bit of a comeback in that one as well, and there's going to be heaps of value to be had in that one as well. Until then, if we don't hear from you, definitely check out the season kickoff for the NFL as well. That's going to be available to check out as well. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the games ahead. Goodbye.
Don't let the game play you. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly. In Australia, phone 1-800-858-858 for free and confidential support. In Canada, learn about safer play at Know the Risks from the Responsible Gambling Council at knowtherisks.ca. In America, must be 21 or older and present in Arizona. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Colorado, gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Connecticut, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In Illinois, Maryland, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Indiana, gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Kansas, gambling problem, getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com. Louisiana, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support. Play it smart from the start or call 1-800-GAM-1234. In Michigan, gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. In New York, for help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Tennessee gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. Wyoming gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Prop Nation betting show is for entertainment purposes only and should in no way be considered financial advice.